This is our Healing with the Masters of Light, which is a group that meets to discuss and to hear from other healers, teachers, spiritual leaders in the community about what they do, their modalities, their approaches. A lot of times it's just a matter of terminology. I've found we're all going the same place. We sometimes go at it a little different ways, which is fascinating to me. All the different ways we can learn. And today we have Anna Noyce, who is amazing. And she's going to talk to us about what she offers with her Circle Insights, which is basically your business, right? I mean, that's where you offer your sessions, your workshops, your Akashic record readings, that kind of thing. And then and this is what I'm really fascinated in, she started this light language university. And I don't know very many people who started an online university. And just the times that Ann and I have talked has just been so much fun. It's just like, oh, you did that? Oh, yeah. And we got so excited. I could feel my vibrations going through the roof when we were talking. She's that kind of person, and she's got that kind of knowledge. It's exciting to hear about it. So that's why I wanted her to speak with y'all tonight. All right. So, Anna, if you want to introduce Tanya and Jeannie.
Yes. Hello, everyone. This is Tanya. Tanya Griffin is the Dean of Education for the Light Language University.
Hello.
And she's also a medium and energy worker. And then we have Jeannie Mills, who's the Assistant Dean for Light Language University, who is also a healer. And they're amazing. They've helped us put this together. Circle Insights is my private practice where I do healing. Light Language University, of course, is the online university. I want to show you a little bit about I'm really proud of our logos. If you look at Light Language University and you have the triangle, it's mind, body, and spirit. And so that's what the university is really learning how to balance. The circles behind the golden phoenix represents dimensions, and we are multidimensional beings, and the golden phoenix is us coming out of the purging that we're doing right now, rising out of the ashes to be how amazing we already are, but just super. So that's the Light Language University. And then in mine, Circle Insights, you'll see the seed of life, and that's what I am. I'm a seed planner. And then of course the chariot of the soul, the Merkaba, is in the center. So that's who we are as we put our logos together. But welcome. I love this quote. The illusion of third dimension is separation. And that's kind of what we look and we stand and we realize that how connected we really are. And oftentimes we forget. There's a story that I wanted to tell you about. Years ago, my husband, when when we first got married, it was 30 years ago, we got married. It was so cute. He came home one day and he says, I want to show you something. Let me show you something. I'm so excited. And he took my hands and he takes me in and we look at the little computer in front of us and he starts typing 11100 dash. And I'm looking at this word processor and I'm like, that's great. What are we looking at? And he's like, honey, this is super amazing. And you got to remember this day for the rest of your life because this is going to change the world. And I'm like, well, great. What are we looking at? You see, he could see what I couldn't see. And what he saw the birth of the internet. So what I'm here today is to bring you the third piece. We're as a school, as teachers and healers, and as we're all emerging out of this beautiful energy, what I want to bring is this knowledge. And also as we awaken, how it works and how we interconnect and intermingle. We have medicine, the MDs, they take care of our bodies. We also have the psychologists who take care of our brains. And now we have spirit anatomy, which is what we see coming on the horizon. And you as healers and teachers and practitioners are coming in and you are the third piece because a human being, going back to that triangle, heals on all three levels, mind, body, and spirit. So that's kind of how we get started. All right, so I want to tell you a story about me. It was 2007. I actually have a book called A Journey into the Sacred Heart. And this story's in there. In 2007, I was kind of going through my awakening period. I was doing some Reiki and a little bit of shamanism, getting back into what I know and what my father had taught me years ago and I'd left behind. So one morning, I woke up and there's this beautiful sunlight coming in through the windows. My animals are stirring. We have some pets. My husband's nicely still asleep, snoring, and still very sound asleep. And I look up to the left of me because I'm on the left side of the bed, and I see these beautiful light beings, just like in the center of this picture. We tried to get something as close, and they're just very tall, and they're just standing there looking at me. I close my eyes and I think, no, I must be dreaming. I open them up, but no, they were still there. And I'm like, closing my eyes again, doing it several times. And finally I said, what do you need? What would you like? What do you need? And telepathically, very clearly, I heard, Anna, this is not what it's about. And immediately in the third eye, I saw a vision, and I saw myself. At the time I was working at the church, and I was on staff, and I was doing parties, and I was doing healing and relationships, and I was doing these different things, working with different groups. And Spirit said, this is not what it's about. And it disappears. I was also at the time working with a friend of mine, and I had my jewelry in a gallery. I was a jewelry smith, and I created jewelry and designed and had my things in a little gallery, and was going to the university, and it was just a wonderful thing. And Spirit said, no, this is not what it's about. And then they showed me cleaning house, and I am not the best of house cleaners or cooks. And they said, no, this is not what it's about. And I was very happy about that one. I just want you to know I let that one go. But the other two, I was like, wait a minute, this is who I am. This is my life. And they said, no, this is not what it's about. Behind me is the headboard, and it's against the wall. And I heard this very strong male voice say, Anna, let me show you what it's about. And I said, no, I don't know who you guys are. No, I'm not. And nope, nope. And the beautiful golden beings were standing there, and very calmly they said, she's not ready. And the other one said, she's not ready. And the being behind me said, get her ready. And then they faded away. And then I turned over promptly and said, honey, who you just saw, wake up, wake up. Something's happened. These beings, I don't know what they're doing. Something's going to happen. I don't know. What happened was I ended falling down the rabbit hole. I always call it Alice in Wonderland, and falling down, you don't know what's up and what's down. And the things that I thought were real to me were no longer real. The people that I thought were in my life fell away, and my whole life crumbled. And so I found myself on this journey, and that's where the book begins, of rediscovering who I was. And all I knew is when I checked into my spirit and my soul, it said I had soul sickness. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And so soul sickness was something of being just disconnected from what my purpose was. And I went on this journey of finding who I was, meeting healers, meeting medicine men, reconnecting with spirit, and reconnecting with these golden beings. And that's kind of what's in the book. When I came back from the journey, and my life had totally been changed, I stepped back in as a healer because I'd been taking classes and such. And I stepped back in and I started working with a mentor who was amazing. She's an acupuncturist in Fort Worth, and she took me in under her wing. She also taught acutonics. And acutonics are tuning forks that are attuned to the different vibrations of the planets and how they shift. And they're used like on your meridians and such. And you put them on your meridians and they work like acupuncture, but they're faster because everything vibrates. And within that, I really started to step into the Akashic records, opening up energy and working with clients. And for 3 years, I worked with this beautiful teacher and mentor, and we worked hard hours. She was not an easy person to work with. Sometimes it was 7 days a week at 9 o'clock. I have stories about her when I was sick in bed, or she's like, nope, come in. We've got clients. We need you to be working. I'll treat you. And so it was an interesting internship that I would say with her. And with her, I met so many other healers and master teachers that came into my life and taught me things. So this is how my life began to be a practitioner. As we were going through this process in 2010, we were starting to have meetups like this in the house where we lived at the time in Arlington, and people were coming in and going. And one day, just before the meetup, I was tired and I took a nap. And when I woke up wide awake, there was one of those beautiful golden beings standing there. And I said, "What do you want?" And the being said, "Anna, would you like to know what it's about?" And guess what I said? I said, "Yes, I want to know what it's about." And so immediately they showed me the vision of the world. And behind Tanya and behind Jeannie is the world and the light. And that's what they showed me. I love that image. And they showed one light, and then they showed two, and then they showed several more. And if you've ever been at a candlelight service where we're lighting each other's lights, and they said, "Anna, this is what it's about." And pretty soon I'm holding the world in my vision, and it's completely lit up with light. You see, each one of us, we are so special, and our gifts that we come in, we light each other up. So I want to go, let's see, excuse me. I want to talk about light language. And that's kind of where we get the light language, because that's what we're doing is we're lighting each other up. Light language is what Akashic Records is. It's what our verbal language is. There's It's also, if you take your hands and you were to put them out like this and you go all the way around and all the way up, what we understand about the soul, only 30% is in the physical body and the other 70 is outside. That means we are so amazing and so huge, it's hard to get us into this little body that we have. That's why you sleep. You've got to give that body a rest, because the energy from you just being this beautiful light being is tremendous. Every sense that you have in the physical world, all of our five senses, is matched on the ethereal level of senses. So you can hear, you can clairaudient, clairvoyance to see, and so on, clairsentient to feel and to taste, and to every one of them is there, and to smell. So light language is every thought, every word, every deed. Everything you do is recorded and put out into your vibrational frequency. And what you let go of with your karma, what you bring in, what you learn, changes you and changes what's happening in this frequency. Now, most of us are walking around and we are standing next to each other before COVID and the 6 feet, but even with the 6 feet, and we are close together. And if you think about it, our auras are touching. And when we do, there's a communication. And I love this picture in front of you. It was something we were trying to see. You're putting out your frequencies and your vibrations. Now we know that souls have always existed. Imagine that. Your soul has always existed. It blows the human mind. We just can't believe there's always a beginning and an end. But when we're looking at the human soul and you've just always existed, that doesn't make any sense. But it's true. A new soul and an old soul, the way we measure it is how many times that being comes and incarnates in the physical 3D. So a lot of us will come in and come in, but imagine that each of us, you'll have new souls coming in and they're from other dimensions, and they're bringing in the light language within their frequency and their vibration, and we're brushing up against them. And so they're enlightening us, and then others are coming in and they've been here so long, and that's in their frequency. And so when we look at the aura, it's constantly changing, it's constantly shifting. It's our language, but it's also our anatomy. What's happened is a lot of times when we get stuck in this physical world and we can't do something and we lose one of those five senses because we've shut them down, or something's happened to us that we think, well, don't know what's going on, and we can't see anymore. If you can daydream, your clairvoyance is working. You can hear, you just have to to listen a little harder. And you'll be surprised. You can feel we're all empaths. Every human's an empath. It's just how we use it. Some of us are more sensitive because we've been in situations where we've had to use the empath for survival. So we're a little bit more sensitive. And then others have shut it down, but we all have that gift. Again, we're all equal. So it's interesting how when we're walking around and we say, well, I can't hear, I can't see, it's because, and I like to use the arm. So it's like if I were to put a tourniquet on this arm, it's not going to work. It's gonna, all the blood flow stops. And Tanya's also a nurse, so she knows about this. And you would say, okay, silly, take the tourniquet off. Well, it's the same thing that we do with our energy that's outside. You see, that 70% is connected to the energy that's the 30% inside of your physical body. Not only are we talking about the meridians and the chakras and the hairline and all the other things that are happening within our being, but we're also talking about this energy system constantly moving. And when we shut it down, we wonder why our organs are not well. We wonder why the energy is not feeding us. And so meditation is what your teachers have. We brought that in. A lot of the teachers have brought in the meditation so we can get that blood flow. We can get the energy moving. We can get you back open so that you can communicate. And that's what it's about. I want to show you this one. So again, you're looking at chakras. Chakras are really important. Did you know, this is very interesting, that a regular person chakra, just a regular person, their chakra is going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. A master teacher, such as Christ or Buddha, is 18 inches. Wow. And as we start to enlighten and bring in more than 1 to 5% of being conscious, and we bring in this energy and we start to open up through this awakening, our chakras are starting to grow. Our energy is starting to merge. And it almost looks like everything is one chakra. It's a beautiful process. But again, it is putting that energy, taking the tourniquet off and allowing the energy to flow so that we can have everything matched. Okay, I want to show you this. So what's happening? Why is this happening? A lot of people are awakening at this time, more than we've ever seen. In fact, it's so many people are awakening that it's almost chaotic. And as we look around, we're thinking, oh my goodness, the world's gone crazy. What's going on with those group? What's happening with them? Whoa, I'm shutting my doors. But what's happening is the Aquarian age, we've come into this beautiful age. So we've moved from the Piscean age, which is all about power and control. And it's all about here in the solar plexus. And solar plexus is the will, and it's good power, good control. And now we've merged into this heart chakra. We merged out of the male energy and we merged into the beautiful yin yang, which is the balance of the male and female. And as we start to awaken, there's no secrets. There's more about love and compassion. And when I know people are going, well, wait a minute. We're seeing all of this happening, but there's also all this people fighting and things that are getting angry and marches and things like that. But what we're seeing, and I'll show you what's the next one. I'm going to go here. I'm going to skip that one. I'll come back to that one. We're seeing 4 levels of consciousness, and each human being is connected on 4 levels: on an individual level, on a group level, on a collective level, and also a oneness level. And you're never disconnected. So think of a tube or something, or an energy. We talked about the tourniquet, and we cut off that energy. And when we cut off the energy, we cut that from oneness, we cut it from the collective, we cut it from the group. So what we're seeing right now is we're seeing each individual as we start to purge. We are connected from all these different groups. And groups, when they're purging, is not very pretty. I don't know about you, but for me, when I purge, it's not a pretty thing. You do not want to see that. We close the doors and we do that by myself. So not even Steve, you don't want to be here. But when you purge, and so what we're seeing is a lot of people and a lot of things are purging and they're starting to become aware. And I always use this as example. They're not in their power because they haven't learned how to step in their power. So all the stuff is coming out and it looks very ugly. And you see all these groups and they're fighting and they're angry and they're trying to stand up. Now here's what's interesting. As the individual, and that's each one of us, as we start to heal ourselves, we also start to heal the group consciousness, the group that we've come into. And when the groups eventually, as everyone starts to step in, or a certain number, the groups start to stand in their power. Now, what happens when people stand in their power? They don't fight. In fact, there's a story, and I don't know where the story, I don't know where the original place where it is, but I'm just want to tell the story very quickly. There's a story about heaven and hell. In hell, when you go to hell, you see this beautiful banquet and you see people with their arms stretched out, but they can't bend their arms to feed themselves. And they're starving. They have spoons in their hands and they can't put the food into their mouth. You go to heaven and the same thing, you see the same exact thing. You see this beautiful banquet, lots of people, arms straight, and you're going, that's different. But what's the difference? People are feeding each other. And that's what makes the difference. And that's when we stand up and we start holding that space for each other instead of pulling each other down. And that's where we're going in this Aquarian age. The Aquarian age, and you'll from different teachers, they talk about it. It lasts about 2,600 years. There's you can talk to astrologers. They say it started 50 years ago. It began. Some astrologers say it started in 1111. My golden being said it started in 2012, December, yeah, when the Mayan calendar. And so that's kind of when it shifted. So imagine that we just put our big toe into the Aquarian age. We have a little bit more purging to go. It'd be nice if it's over. But as we start to gather, and especially you that are awakened, are helping others to come and shift into that awakening. All right. So the collective consciousness, that's an interesting. The collective defines everything. They define a cup. All of us, we agree this is what a glass looks like, and this is what water looks like, and this is what a Kleenex looks like. And if we change, if everything's energy and if we all disagreed and said nope, this is a monkey, then this thing would change and become a monkey. So it's interesting to see how we all interact. And then there's oneness. Oneness is where we all are together and we hold it. It holds us all together. My father used to say, we're in the dream of the creator. And I didn't understand that. And I'm going to go back to this slide. I call this the knitting story. Back when I was, I'm a lot older now, but back when I was in my 30s, my husband had gone to work. The children were at school. My chores were done, and I got to do my favorite thing, and that was knit. And so I was sitting there and I was just thinking, oh, I feel so good to be by myself, be quiet, and I'm knitting. And I was just breathing in gratitude. And as I was breathing in gratitude, I shot out from my crown, and I'm right here in the soul star energy. And I wasn't in my body. And I looked down and I could see the top of my head. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I can see the top of my head, but I'm still okay. And I can still think. And then these beings came in and they said, Anna, would you like to try something? And I said, yes, I'm okay. Let's do it. And they said, okay, well, what would you like? And I said, I don't know. What are my neighbors doing? My friends. I'm curious. And boom, in a moment, I could hear one of my friends and her daughter as they're vacuuming and cleaning, and I could hear their thoughts and I could hear them communicating. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. And I come back and I noticed that the air and the energy was all atoms. And I noticed that everything had vibrations. The chair that I could see my body sitting in was all this atomic dance of particles, and it was just beautiful. And the rocks that were on the mantle were gorgeous. You know, they were all dancing, and it all had this vibration of love. And I thought, wow, everything vibrates in love. How could that be? And spirit comes to me and they said, would you like to try something more? And I said, sure, why not? Let's do it. And they said, okay. And boom, I felt something fall off of me. And I thought, what was that? I didn't know. It felt like my clothes or a coat or something had fallen off. And they said, those are all your worries. And I went, what? I didn't even know I had worries. I was vibrating in love. And they said, yes. And so as we expanded into consciousness, they said, what would you like to do? And I said, well, what's my other neighbor doing? And they said, well, they're not home. Okay, well, let me just hear all of the neighborhood. Why not? And they said, okay. And boom, I heard people on their phones. I heard people walking dogs. I heard their thoughts. I heard them talking, having conversations. And it was like I am talking to one person at that one-on-one. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. People on their computers, what they were thinking. This is exciting. And spirit goes, would you like some more? And I said, yes, let's do it. And they said, okay. And boom, it wasn't going up. It was an expansion of consciousness. And as I expanded, I said, let me hear all of Arlington, Texas. And in a second, I heard thousands of people. I heard their conversations. I heard them communicating. I understood them. And I thought, wow, this is how God hears our prayers. And in that moment, I thought, you know, I'm not God. And then boom, I fell into my body. And I went, what the heck just happened? And spirit said, doubt. I had doubt. Doubt does not exist in that vibrational frequency. And what my father had taught me was that everything was conscious. And in that moment, I understood what he meant, that everything was a part and held together by the one consciousness of what you call the creator, the universe, the, the sacred spirit, the great spirit, whatever you want to call. It is that one conscious level of consciousness, and we all have that access to it. It is just a matter of shifting your conscious and vibrational frequency. So from there, again, I understood the levels from the guides. They came in and taught me this. And this is the voice. I like to tell this story because this is something that happened. I ended up, after I spent time with my mentor, I went back to the church. I really wanted to sing. I just love to sing. And they were inviting people to come up and sing in the band. And I thought, wow, this is great. This is what I want to do. And so I decided to get up that day and sing. And they even interviewed me and they said, yes, all you have to do is make joyful noise. And I said, I can do that. And they said, yes. And I said, hallelujah, I'm in. And so they gave me a mic. They turned my mic off because I sing a little bit off key, but you know, they let me sing and I sing in the background. But I was so happy to be up there and have the band and have the music and the feel the rhythms. And so one day we had our leader, and she was our lead singer, and she could bring, people would come in by hundreds and they would just listen to her. She was amazing. And people would cry and they would come up and do all of the worshiping that we had for that day. And there was called the Revelation song. I remember the day, and this song, I love this song because the singer, our lead, she would hold this note somewhere in between, and she would kind of, it's like a train, and she would kind of like curve it a little bit. It's hard, it's an energy of that sound. And we would harmonize, and then we would jump on, and then we would curve, and it was just this beautiful sound. And all I remember is just pure joy. And I think I got it right. In my experience, I got the note right. And boom, I shot out of my body and went into this vibrant light, kind of what you see that's in this picture. I was trying to find this huge light. My golden beings, there were actually 4 of them. And I went into this dimension and they're looking at me and they're like, Anna, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm here. And they're like, Anna, you're in the middle of singing. You got to go back. And I'm like, no, I'm not going back. I'm here. This is it. And they're like, no, honey, you have to go back. And very reluctantly, I pulled myself back into my physical form. bringing myself back. And when you're in such a high frequency and you can see, it was kind of interesting. It's like shining a light. And if somebody shines a flashlight in your eyes too long, that bright light, you start to see spots everywhere. And that's kind of what happened. I'm I was singing up there, and we were finishing the notes and going on, and I started to see spots. And then all of a sudden, I saw what you saw as like a mirage on a hot day on a hot pavement, that kind of vapory thing. This huge wave went over the whole congregation like this. And I'm up there going, what was that, in my head as I'm still singing the notes? What was that? What did we just see? What did we just see? And people burst out in gold all around them. And other people were as black as my back here behind me, and pitch black all around them. And I'm going, what is that? What is that? Somebody tell me. And I'm singing. We finished the song. My guides never interrupted or said anything. And we went back and sat in our pew. But when we sat there, usually it's just before lunch. So the pastor's always wanting to jump up and run up and do his sermon because we got to get people out for lunchtime. And there's other things to do. And this time, nobody wanted to move. Nobody. What I noticed, the people that were these beautiful golden vibrational, that golden aura all around them, they were engaged, they were smiling. You could see just this imprint of pure joy, and they were connected. And the people who had the dark energies, they were digging in their purses. They were kind of, not sure what to do. They were uncomfortable. And we sat in this energy, and no one said a word. Didn't matter if you had a black aura or gold aura, nobody said a word. Something supernatural had happened. And then our pastor finally, it seemed like a long time for me, because I'm still going, what's going on? What's happening? Tell me, to this, and they're not saying anything. And he gets up, he clears his throat, he gets on the pew or the podium, he turns the Bible around, clears his throat, and then he starts to preach. But something happened that day. It wasn't until I was driving home, and my family had already gone. They had gone to first service, and I went to second to sing. And I'm driving home, and I asked Spirit again. I said, what happened? Something happened. I know it was amazing, but I don't know what happened. And I heard my name, Anna. Anna. When one remembers who they are, others will remember. And I went, oh, I get it. And then I said, wait a minute. I've been in this congregation 20 years. So and so and so and so and so and so, and Spirit goes, Anna, it's a choice. Each one chooses. I walked away from that experience recognizing that when we change our light, when we have this beautiful aura and we walk around and it's open and we're afraid or we're not sharing and we're in that energy, that's what we're putting out. We're creating more of that. And those of us that are standing in the vibrational frequency and holding our power, we're sharing that on multi levels. And when one passes, think about it, when one passes and we go back and forth, they become empowered because they remember how beautiful they are. And yes, we each get a choice. There are times, for me, we're all human, and that's why we're here in this experience. We're learning the yin and yang, we're learning the dark and light, we're learning all these interesting things in 3D. But what we're learning is we get to choose. You get to choose how you show up. Do you show up in your power, or do you show up? And sometimes we do, and it's okay. But we're very powerful as we start to empower each other. And I think that's probably the biggest lesson that we can remember as healers and teachers and practitioners. Because when you show up for your client, when you show up for your students, when you show up for each other, and we hold each other in that light, we are empowered, we're together, connected, creating this grid. And I want to go back. I'm going to go back a couple of, we're creating the grid all over the world, a grid of light. And just like what's behind Tanya and just what's like behind Jeannie, is we're lighting each other's candles. We're opening that space of higher consciousness, and we're stepping into this heart energy of unified, of helping to awaken. We can make this faster. The purging that's happening, you can by working on yourself, by learning how to be empowered, and then by sharing that just in your aura, just walking into the room. We have a joke, a little joke. And it's kind of a joke, but anyway, my guides, they think that's funny. They say two people step in the room, one person negative and one person, I'm going to use the word, one person power, in their power, or positive. Which one's more powerful? So we got a negative and we got a positive. So it just depends whoever's more powerful. Let's say that the negative one is, and the positive one matches the energy. Then the negative is. But what if the negative one matches the positive? Then the positive's more. So it's really about us stepping in and holding that space and remembering just how amazing we are as human beings on all levels. Another story that brings up. Oh, another story. My father taught me this when I was little, and we had a ranch. He would squat down, and it was in Presidio, and so it's out there, kind of when the Marfa, a little further. What I think it's east, no, what, north, south. Oh, I don't know my north, south. South, yes. And so south of Marfa, Texas. So it's out there with all the coyotes and the rattlesnakes, and we had a ranch out there. But anyway, he would squat down, and in the horse pen, he would draw a cross in the dirt, and he'd say, Anna, and I was little, he'd say, what's the highest frequency? What is the highest level emotion? And of course, it's unconditional love. So I always ask my students, how do you define unconditional love? Well, we all know what unconditional love is, right? We know. But when you ask someone to verbalize it, it's kind of a little harder because you have to really think about it. I cheated. I asked my golden beings, and they said, Anna, it's to love without exception. So I use that. It's to love, and it's true, to love without exception. The lowest level is fear. And so the two between, and what you see at the cross, we consider that horizontal line, we consider that the heart line. And so when the emotions are amazing, because what they're doing is they're gauging us on how we interact and how we participate. And so if you're below the heart line, you're going to attract things. Remember, somebody out of their power. You're going to attract experiences. It's all about what we match. You're going to attract all these things. If you're angry, you're going to meet more angry people, and things aren't going to work as well. And when you're joyful and you're closer to that unconditional love, you're going to attract more people that are like, come and just be a part. A quick story. I was in a couple of months ago. Actually, it's been a year. Wow, it goes fast, doesn't it? The year just flies by. But anyway, I was in a hurry. I was meeting a friend, and I needed to get some gas. And while I was getting some gas, I decided to go into 7-Eleven and pick up some coffee. So I ran in to get coffee and grabbed my coffee. I'm excited. But when I turned around, before I got in there was no line. But when I turned around, there was like 6 people, and I was in a hurry. A little annoyed because I needed to get out and be at that luncheon on time. And I decided, I get to choose. I get to be annoyed, or I get to stand in my power. So that day I decided, I've got this hot cup of coffee. I'm just going to enjoy myself, but I'm going to stand in my power. So that day I pulled my energy in. And then I thought, okay, as I'm drinking my coffee and kind of enjoying it, because it has all the cream and sugar, don't tell my husband, but it had all the cream and sugar in there. And it was just amazing and hot. I thought, well, I'm just going to bring all this energy, and I'm just going to just put it out through my field. There was a young man. He was about 3 feet in front of me. And when I brought this energy in and just let it flood through my energy field, the man actually went like this. I never touched him. Swear to God, I never did. I had my coffee. And all of a sudden he turned around with this huge smile on his on his face. And he said, "Ma'am," he said, "would you like to go in front of me?" And I just giggled and I said, "No, thank you," because I was embarrassed a little bit, but I was like, "No, thank you." But it was fun. And he was smiling. And the line went pretty fast. And then actually, I made it on time for my luncheon. It's those moments when we get a little bit irritated, go ahead, see if you can shift into that high vibration, bring that energy in and share it with other people. If somebody's uncomfortable, and remember, everybody gets a choice, they're going to leave because it makes them uncomfortable. I don't do it to make people leave, to make it uncomfortable. I do it because it's like champagne. It's kind of bubbly and it's fun. And sometimes people turn around and they're like, they want to play because they feel it. You don't have to talk to them. It's in our light language. So let me go back to this. Light language, again, is every thought, word, deed, action, breath that we've ever taken. It's in your frequency, it's in your vibration. It's verbal, it's nonverbal. And we are communicating as light beings all the time. You're communicating with the trees, you're communicating with animals. If I were to step into a bullpen where we had a ranch and I were to have fear below that heart line, that bull is going to see me as a threat and it's going to come after me. So learning with my father on the ranch was also a survival thing that he wanted me to learn. So when I stepped into it and went, uh-oh, I'm in the wrong place. And the bull's looking at me like, where are you? Who are you? I had to go above the heart line and find joy or find something, gratitude, and bring that energy in so that the being, that beautiful bull, would relax and go on its way and not see me as an enemy or a threat. It works the same way as healers, teachers, practitioners. It works for us, which brings us to protection in the Piscean age. And it's interesting. If you think about it, I love stones. I used to be a jeweler. So and I made jewelry and I loved making all kinds of things. I love jewelry. But you don't need the stones. Everything is here. And it goes back to this chart here. You get to gauge, you get to choose, you get to download. It's all inside of you. When you are in a place below the heart line, that cross, when you're in a lower place, that's when you need protection because that's when you attract all those lower beings and that's when they see you. If you raise up into gratitude, they don't see you. You no longer exist on that plane. So what I like to tell our classes, that if we put protection, and sometimes you need it, sometimes we are in grief and it's really hard. We've lost something, or we've lost a person or a job or something that's happened and we're grieving. Go ahead and take the rocks or use your oils. But if you can start working and shifting into your vibration or downloading the beings or downloading the light language that's all around you, and that's unconditional. It's not like you're stealing. It's universal and it's here and there's tons of it for everyone. If you can download that and shift it, you don't need to have those extra things that we carry or do it. One of the things that my teacher said is if we took you and put you in a place, like we dropped you in the Sahara Desert, your books aren't there, your teachers aren't there, it's just you. You have to learn to do it right in here. And you carry that with you. You're connected to the stars. You're connected to the universe. You're connected to each other, the plants, every particle, every bit, your cells, everything. And you get to choose how you show up and how you live in this earth. I want to go to, this goes to our empath again. When a person comes to me, and you hear this because my father's taught me when I was little, I rode horses. We've always had horses. So when I was 2 and I get on the horse, I was too young to get the horse to kind of go where I want to. So the horse would kind of just take me wherever it want to. Most of the time it took me over to the tree and knocked me off and I'd fall off. And dad always said, you got to get back on the horse. And we'd cry and I'd get back on the horse and we'd go over this. Eventually I was able to ride a horse. I actually, at one point, dad took me out to ride with a bunch of cowboys and it was on a roundup and they were rounding up cattle. And I came out bareback with my black horse, Jupiter, who was his name, and we come out and my dad looked at the cowboys and they're all in their and he looked and he goes, my daughter's 16. She can outride every one of you. And you watch her. And I got on my horse and I helped cut cattle. I helped, pull things in. I knew how to do it. My horse was me. The horse and I were one. We were never separated. And that horse and I loved that horse. Anyway, at the end, the guy who owned the ranch came to my father and he goes, I want to give your daughter a blanket because today she proved to us that she could outride every one of us. And you were right. And he gave me a horse blanket. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's sweaty. So, 16, right, girl? Thank you. But anyway, your gift as an empath is like riding a horse. You either learn how your gifts work or it takes you and it does whatever it wants to, or it knocks you off the horse. So when a person comes to me and they say, I'm an empath, and I go over to the store and I pick up everybody's stuff, what they're telling me is they have not mastered themselves. They have not mastered their gift. Because the gift, those five senses, and every part of it is just a part of who you are. And it is up to us to master them and to open that tourniquet again and start becoming multidimensional beings. You are a multidimensional being, whether you know it or not. You are communicating on multi levels, not just in fourth, fifth, and sixth, but in eons of levels, because you as a soul have been all over the universe, all over other universes, all over other dimensions. And when you come down, you wonder why your fingerprint's different. It's the same thing that matches all of your energy bodies and all of your energy outside. Your fingerprint, your energy signature is just as different as and unique as your fingerprint. It is beautiful when you start to master, because things start to happen and people start to show up and events start to happen. Everything that you can imagine, you can create, and you'll find it. Everything's right here at your fingertips. I want to I want to give you an experience. We call this the chakra balancing tool. I want to lead you very quickly or slowly or however we do it. I'm going to let the light beings come in. If you can, just find a comfortable place and find your center. You can close your eyes. You can leave your eyes open. I'm one of the weird ones. I do my meditation with my eyes open. I don't sleep with my eyes open, just so you know. I do close them. That gets weird. But go ahead and start finding your center. And I want you to breathe in, imagine the sun. And if you have to, go ahead and take a peek of the slide. We put the slide to help, but that beautiful light, breathe in that golden light. See, in light language, in the university, we use two lights. We use the golden light, which is oneness, reminding us we're whole. And we use the white light, reminding how pure we are when we step into those vibrations. So breathe in that golden white light to remember how amazing you are. And just follow your breath very naturally. Good. And then on the out breath, release any tension, fears, worries, stress. We're just going to let it go. Good. Very good. Now we're going to drop into the heart center. And the color is green. But go ahead and breathe in the golden light, just kind of clearing it out, feeling the energy move. Again, releasing on the out breath any fears, worries, or stress. And allow the gold and white to mix with the green and to heal. Good. Now we're going to drop our awareness into the solar plexus. The color is that vibrant lemon yellow. This is our power and our will. Again, breathing in the golden light, releasing on the out breath any fears or worries, stress. You may feel a shift, may feel energy move, may need to yawn. Just let it go. Good. Now we're going to drop into the sacral. The color is that beautiful orange. Think of a beautiful orange on a green tree. We're going to use that orange color, breathing in gold and white light, mixing it in with the orange, letting it expand, heal. Releasing anything on the out breath. Good. Now we're going to move down into the base. The color is that beautiful red, vibrant ruby red. Breathing in the gold and white light, releasing on the out breath, allowing that energy to heal, grow, and expand. Good. Excellent. Bring your awareness and bring your energy up through the sacral, up through the solar plexus, into the heart. And now we're in the throat, which is that sky blue. Again, breathing in the golden white light, allowing it to clear and cleanse, heal, releasing on the out breath. Excellent. We're going to go up to the third eye. It's that indigo color. Beautiful sapphire blue. Breathing in the gold light, opening up that third eye. Good. Releasing on the out breath. And then up into the crown. The color is purple. Breathing in the gold light, releasing on the out breath. Letting that center expand and heal. You're reminding all of those centers how to be whole and connected. And then we're going to go into the soul star, which is just right above your head. And it actually is already that golden light. So just go up there and just soak up the energy. And then when you're ready, bring the gold light all the way back down through your head and let it expand through your whole head and neck, through your shoulders, your arms, fingers, your torso, your legs, down through the feet. And then just let it go out of your skin into that 70%. Just keep pushing it out, reminding that it is all connected. There are no boundaries. Good. And when you're ready, come back into the room. Good. That exercise is an easy one to do. You can practice it. We have a YouTube that we actually walk through people through this. What you're doing is you're bringing the anatomy back. You're circulating the energy. You've taken the tourniquet when you do that off between the body and this energy outside. And now the whole energy system is working and united. So it's a great way to get back into balance. The more you practice, what you'll want to do, and we use the example as the infinity symbol, because I have a friend of mine who taught me this. And she said, anytime that I want to bring myself in balance, I've done it enough. It's kind of like muscle memory. So I just think of the infinity sign. And as soon as I think of the infinity sign, the body goes very quickly. So the joke is, in our light language university, you don't want to walk into a board meeting and say, okay, everybody, I'm just having a bad day. So everybody just stop. Just a minute. I'm going to cross my legs. And you don't want to do that, right? That just kind of makes things uncomfortable. And some people are going to go, well, that's not it right. But what if with light language, because light's fast, what if you're having a bad day and you walk through, just as you walk through the door and you think of your symbol, you can shift your energy in a second. Walk in and you're in your power. That's where we're going. And each one of us have the ability to do that. It just takes a little practice. Not a lot, just a little. I want to do one more thing. This is grounding. In Light Language University, I had an experience, and so we teach this now. It's we've been taught, so everything in light, if you think about it, we go back to the atomic energy. We go back to atoms and how we connect in multidimensional. And when we look at the multidimensional human being as multidimensional, we no longer ground like the traditional. We ground a little differently. The story that I have to tell you is that one night I got up, it was several years ago, I got up and did my little ritual of going to get a drink of water, petting the cat, getting back in bed, and laying there. And I thought, I can't go to sleep. I'm sitting there going dum dee dum dee dum dee dum. And I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ground. This is a good time to ground. So I'm laying horizontally, and I thought of grounding with my feet, my energy going into the ground. And my energy went, nyonk. And I thought, well, that's weird because there's the earth and my energy should go into the ground. And I tried it again and I pushed it in and it goes, nyonk. And I thought, okay, that's ridiculous. I'm going to make it go in there. And so I pushed my energy into the earth and all of a sudden stomach ache and I curled up and I went, okay, this is painful. This is not fun. And then I pulled my energy back up and I was fine. I thought, well, that's really weird. Let me do this again. Okay, I'm a little slow learner. I had to do it 3 times. And each time it had the same result. Finally, I called my guides and I said, what's going on? What's happening? Something's wrong with me. And Spirit said, no, nothing's wrong with you, Anna. You ground differently. You've changed your frequency and you no longer ground in the physical of 3D. Try it again. But this time, let it be. Darn, they want me to let go? I can't control this? I can't push it into the ground? Okay, we're going to do this. And I did. And I pushed my energy in, and my energy shot out, went past the earth, and it went in to another dimension, found another planet in another dimension, and went, and this energy shot right back into me. And I went, oh my goodness, what just happened? And Spirit said, you've changed. You're now in your multidimensional body, and now you ground differently. I did this with several people. I started asking people if they wanted to try it. Now, what's interesting is it's true. Some of us still ground in the earth, and that's okay. No one can get this wrong. Your body, your energy system knows exactly where you're supposed to ground. But what was interesting is that people started learning that when they did this exercise, they actually were more empowered. They were grounding. And some people came to me and confessed, they said, I thought something was wrong with me. Because every time I tried to shoot my roots into the ground, it would do this. And I was like, me too. Me too. This is something that has shifted in the Aquarian age. We are grounding differently. It is no longer just 3D. You again, and we go back to our logo. Let's see, our logo here. You are multidimensional beings. You are being reconfigured. I like it. When you're with Siri or something, or it used to be the old where they told you where to go, mapping, and I would go the wrong way. She goes, recalculating. And I'm like, oh, she's so mad at me. I'm trying to, just trying to find my way. Recalculating. I know. We are being recalculated. We are being these beautiful beings, and we are golden phoenixes. So if I leave you with anything, I want to leave you with this quote from Buddha. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. And that's from Buddha. You are magnificent. You are multidimensional, and you are all powerful. And that's where we need to be. We need to remember that's where we came from. Namaste.
Thank you, Anna. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
My crown is just so lit up. I feel so expanded. I feel so good. Thank you. Really
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you very much for having me. My team's here. Tanya's here. Jeannie's here. I'm here too. We're here to answer any questions. If anybody has questions, we're happy about the university, about the teachings, anything that we'll open it up. Is that all right, Cathy?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, we'll open that up.
Can we turn off screen share so we can see your faces bigger? Sorry,
Yeah.
I've got.
Yes. Cathy, do you know how to do that?
I don't know if I can do it from. I can't see very well either. Let me put my glasses on and see if.
Oh wait, I got this. So if I do this, and there we go.
Oh, right there, everyone. That's better. Thanks, Vicky.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your presentation. I really needed that tonight, especially the meditation at the end. And you spoke about the four. Could you recap on that? You said the four states.
Yes,
levels.
the 4 levels of consciousness. Is that's what you're asking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So
missed a little bit of the beginning of it.
There's individual. So that's ourselves. We actually do have a video. So I know that people learn. I'm also I have a teaching degree, but I know that we learn by seeing and visual. So we created as much as we could, but it's a good video. But anyway, yes, there's individual, So that's how we feel and we know. Then there's group. That's our family, friends, the people we interact with. But it's also another, it goes into another part. There are different parts of us that are conscious. There are healers that have been in other past lifetimes or other things that have been persecuted and are now coming in, and they're releasing karma, and they're standing together, and they're stepping in their power. And so you've got slavery, that's another consciousness, and you've got women that are coming in to kind of right. They're bringing the yin yang back into balance because we've been so heavily masculine in the Piscean age. So there's tons more. But what's interesting, you'll find that as you start to purge, you start recognizing that you're part of these different consciousness. Me too is another consciousness that started where people are standing up. And so whether you think it's political or not, it really is just beings coming in to purge and really learn to step in their power and hold those groups. Then you have collective. And collective is the mind of all of us. We're all connected. And that's how we define the world. That's how we define the objects. And then you have oneness. And oneness is what holds it all together. So that was the level of the unconditional love, and recognizing the collective would be more the example of hearing all of Arlington. That's still a group, but it's kind of the idea that we're all connected. Did that help? I don't know if I explained it.
I got part of it, but not all of it. So I missed the middle portion of it. So you just, thank you very much. That was a good explanation.
Well, what we might do is, if you want to, you may have already sent, I haven't seen all your videos. Send me links to those videos and I'll send them out to Jim, Regina, and Bibi, and they can watch that.
Oh, absolutely. Tanya, would you take care of that? She's over that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Promise to pass them on.
Yeah, no, we're great. We love sharing. Any other questions?
Can I ask a question?
Oh yes, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet everyone.
Hi, Regina.
I'm new to Texas from Seattle.
Welcome.
My question, thank you. My question is, what's the difference between the golden light beings that visit you and for people who's been abducted? Is their visitation different from like the beings that are abducting people?
Absolutely. The golden light beings are benevolent beings, and they're here for raise the higher consciousness on the planet. They actually come to people, and they work with healing, and if you're in a frequency, then they start helping you shift.
Yes, thank you. I want to say this about that.
That time.
I personally talk to angelic beings, ascended masters, other galactics, Palladians particularly, and then I have some that are beyond that, all of that. And there's just so many beings that all want to help us right now. And but you have to take control, and you always have a choice. You have always the power to let them in or send them away. And that's what people don't understand, that a lot of times.
Right.
It's so good that you exercise that. If you weren't sure, then it's better to send them away. If you have any doubts, if something's not resonating, doesn't feel good, let them go. And you can always invite, whoever you wish to come in. Sounds like you're pretty open. And whether it's an individual or a group or just a level of consciousness, beings. But take control. I think I'm proud of you. That's really great, Regina.
That is good. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It also means too that you have a connection with them. So, I had a client earlier today who's just amazing, and she's same kind of thing. And when we walked through, it turned out to be a beautiful experience. The abduction, and it wasn't what she thought it was. So, it's something you can bring in, but I'm glad you said no until you're comfortable. And you notice in my story, these are beautiful beings. And I said, no, I had to wait until I was ready. And when I was ready, then I said, yes, I want to know. So
is there a way you can protect yourself? Like if you said no, but you felt a little uncomfortable, is there like a prayer or something you could light to protect yourself?
Yes, actually the gold light that we did here, my team knows this very well. We actually, do you do Qigong at
I
all?
used to do Qigong
There you
years
go.
ago. I did Kung Fu and Qigong.
Beautiful. Okay, well, you understand the Qi ball, right? The Qi ball.
Yes, the
What
energy ball.
you can create an inner Qi ball and put the gold and white light because it goes into oneness, and bring that white light and expand it through your living room. We actually teach this at the university, and it raises the frequency. And what happens when you raise the frequency, it goes back to that. Remember, we had the tone scale. So whatever, if they're a lower vibration, it knocks them out.
Okay.
So, and it's not really protection, it just raises the frequency. The good news is it raises your frequency, it raises your energy. So when you walk out, you're helping the world. so so it's a win-win. I like win-wins. Yeah. But yeah, like Cathy said, you can always say no. So excellent.
That's being in your power too, and knowing that you are a powerful being, just as powerful as they are. I started out channeling Archangel Michael, who took 3 months of convincing for me. I was like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. You're not real. But we did this Q&A, and I have every question and answer that I got and that I asked. Finally, he convinced me. But you know, it was interesting. I mean, you can bring in anybody you want, but you also have the power. And he would say, he told me, I don't know how many times, I'm no more powerful than you. Everything I can do, you can do. Jesus said the same thing.
Absolutely. Yes.
Michael said that all the time to me. He said, you're capable of doing all of these things, and you'll do them, you know, and you will too. It's just a matter of knowing that you can. And you, like Anna said, we're all equal. We all have the same abilities, the same gifts. Some are just a little closer to the surface and come out a little easier, you know, and that's got to do with past lives probably, and parenting and everything else. You know, we got to get rid of. We are fantastic, amazing beings. And
Yeah, just going to reinforce that, Cathy, because when stuff first started happening for me, like I'd have crazy stuff, like the TV would go on like 3 a.m. in the morning, and radios would turn on and off, and I'd see crazy things that, you know, kind of, and I just one night just said, stop, this scares me, and everything just shut down, and it didn't turn on again.
Control, that's right.
And I had no idea because I was still new and didn't realize, you know, about metaphysics and energy, and that was my beginning into things.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, you've exercised your power. I giggle when they come in and they start messing with me. I'm like, you guys, okay, who's doing this?
Me too. And I like to know who they are. No, sometimes they give me a name, sometimes not. That's kind of a human thing, wanting to know names, you know. But
yes.
if there's somebody I'm familiar with, come on.
Cathy.
Everybody.
And so a lot of times I'm confused. I experience a lot of supernatural things, but I don't know, I'm like lost. Like, I don't know how to handle my ability. So is that what your class is about?
Yes, we teach workshops. Actually, I'm going to let Tanya, are you there? I'll let her speak. She's the Dean of Education for the university. Jeannie, is she? I don't see
Yes,
her.
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. Can you answer that?
Sure. Hi, Miss Regina.
Hi.
Yes, and that is the whole purpose that this was created, is to help people to understand who they are and what they are. The classes that we offer, we teach what is called Light Language 101 and 102. Those are our basic prerequisite classes. In your Light Language 101, that teaches you about your spirit anatomy and how you connect with other people. It's an extended version of what Anna was telling you about. That was just a small snippet of what you will learn.
Okay.
Then in Light Language 102, it teaches you about how you are a multidimensional being and how you connect with the different dimensions. And with those 2 workshops, that helps you to be able to move on into the higher level courses. And that teaches you how to step into your power.
Right. I need
and it starts training you on how to control. So that way you're, not really control, but how to use your energy more wisely, how to make it flow properly.
Okay.
And so then we have our higher level courses, which are our medical intuitive courses, which that goes into, we also call that the psychic surgery. That's where more of an energy work where they go in and they look into your energy field and basically remove anything that doesn't need to be there, close any portals, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Then we have our spirit rescue group. The spirit rescue workshop teaches you about different entities and how to interact with those and how to cross them over back into their own dimensions. And we have several other classes as well. We also have our herbal essence class, which teaches you about how to use the energy signature of different herbal things. Such Anna was saying about the oils, that you learn how to use the energy signatures of those oils in treatments without having to actually use the oil itself. We have, let's see, one of our other classes. Oh, of course. How could I forget? Akashic Records. Akashic Records. And we have 2 levels of that. We have Akashic Records 101 and 102. Akashic Records 101 is teaching you basically how to get into the records and how to read for yourself. And then there's an Akashic Records 102 level that teaches you how to read for other people.
Wow.
Then we also have a shamanism class, which was just this last weekend. And that was one of our newest classes. And it's very awesome. It teaches you about the 3 worlds and how to interact with those. We also have a light code portal class that teaches you about sacred geometry. But the basics of those is going to be your light language 101 and 102. Like I said, that's where you learn your basics. And that's why it's so important for you to have those first.
Is that online or is that in person?
It is. We do Zoom classes. We have on our Light Language University website, we have a listing of all of our classes. We have a Google Calendar there too that has all of our listings. We do developing groups. We actually have 3 levels of education. We have what's called the seekers level, which is people that are just starting out and they don't know what they want to do. And you take your light language 101 and 102. Yes, ma'am. And then you take the other courses that you feel led to take. And then from there, you can decide if you want to become a practitioner or a teacher. Now, the practitioner's track is actually designed more toward people who are already practicing in the light worker field, and they want to incorporate some of this learning into their practice already. Or we have the teacher's track, and with that particular track will set you up to be able to be a teacher through the Light Language University. So if you go to the website, you can see all 3 tracks, because what you get with those is we have developing groups, because we're not one of those classes that gives you a weekend class or a weekend workshop and says, okay, there you go deal. We actually have developing groups that goes with each of those courses, depending on whether you want to be a practitioner or a teacher. And those developing groups, we require so many hours of developing groups. And with the developing group, it's 2 hours every other week. And we take actual clients. So we're teaching you and you're learning how to work with actual clients in their energy fields.
Oh, wow. I'm still in the process of trusting myself. But Cathy, you was talking, was it you? Cathy was speaking of Archangel Michael earlier. Like, I get messages that that I'm a healer, but I don't know like what. Is it energy healing? Is it what type of healing?
Probably. Everything's energy.
So it could be one of those things that you may want to just sign up and take the 101 and 102, because those are those basic classes, and it's going to help you understand how your energy interacts with everything around you, as well as interdimensionally. And from once you learn that, then you will have a better basis to decide where you want to go from there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Wow. So much information.
Yeah, and some unsolicited advice, Regina, when so because I'm just because I've been through it, it's like, damn, all this stuff's happening. I don't know.
I know,
And
right?
mentors just said to me, no, you really do know. So ask. Like we're powerful beings, just ask questions like, well, what is it? You know, and Marion Williamson, I'm a big Marion Williamson fan, and she says, when we set the intention, the books fall at our feet. So maybe, you know, so I'm thinking, you know, I think in that realm, like I was led to tonight to listen to this conversation and this talk. And so that's possibly your adventure starting now. So the pebbles and the books are just going to start falling at your feet. And then you listen to your intuition, just go, okay, because we always have choice. Like Anna said, you can try it. Resonates, great. Doesn't resonate, well, I tried that, try something else. So good luck and excited for you.
That's beautiful.
Wonderful journey. And you're already on it. You're already on. Everyone is.
Yeah.
I was going to say on the meetup page, I had listed Anna's, you know, the link for her Circle Insights and Light Language. So you can go back to that, and then I'll send out when I get it from Tanya or whoever's going to send that to me, the links for the videos. I'll send that out too, so you don't have to go hunting for them. I'll be glad to get them for you. And that's a lot of good information right there.
Yes.
Yes. And
You can actually go ahead, Anna. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, Tanya. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you can actually, if you just Google Light Language University, you'll find us. And you will also see our Facebook page right underneath that. And we also have a YouTube channel. So you can actually look for that and you will find us.
That pops right up.
That's us.
And
That's us.
I know that you,
Oh, go ahead, Jeannie.
I know that you got like a little bit of what Anna's about tonight, but to have a 2-day class with her is amazing.
I'm sure it is. I feel that it is.
Yeah. You will definitely, you can't come out the same. I mean, she will change you.
Just the meditation was awesome. Like, it was very powerful. I could really feel the energy.
Good, good. That's the meditation. It's called the chakra balancing tool, and it's also on YouTube, and it's free. And we, you know, use it whenever you're welcome to use it. Yeah, anytime you want. We want to get it out there because really it helps align everything very quickly.
Sounds like it. Felt like it.
So question, I know you mentioned the university, but do you just do random workshops or do we have to do the 101 and 102 like you mentioned before we could do any of your workshops?
Yes, the workshops, I'm an instructor. And so with the university, I do the workshops. We do have classes, and the classes are 2 hours. And we'll get with the board. We haven't put any out, but we will have some soon. So if you're interested, Tanya's the person to talk to about that. She as being the dean, she kind of spearheads all of that. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. If there's no other questions, I just want to thank everybody. And I'm going to say, I know we were going to do a drawing for
I was
3
going to ask. Yes.
and we only have 3 people. And I'm thinking,
Perfect.
if you want to, you can just ask for what you want, I think, rather than me, drawing. That's kind of silly for just 3 of you. Or we could wait if you want to see if we get a bigger group later. Or we could do both, whatever you want to do.
If they want, yeah, this is great. I mean, this is great. Yes.
If you're interested in either of her books, or maybe we do need a drawing for the hour of the Akashic reading. That's a pretty great session. We can do that. how I do drawings is I write down numbers by your names, and then somebody picks a number. It's going to be between 1 and 3. That was kind of a tough one. For that drawing, at least for the reading, that's probably what most people would want a write off. What do you think?
As a member of the audience, I love the idea.
Okay. All right then.
Okay, yes.
I just put numbers by your 3 names. So, gosh, we just need to pick it. Usually I draw it out. There's 3 of us. So you don't know what numbers I pick. Anna, do you want to pick a number? And that'll be the person that gets the, let's say, the Akashic reading.
I'll let Tanya do it.
1 to 3.
Well, we do like the number 3, so let's go with number 3.
That's going to be Regina.
Oh, yes. There you go. Perfect.
I probably won something.
Yeah.
Great.
You'll need to contact, I think we talked about this, Anna, and she'll set it up with you.
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
Okay.
You
Thank
got my
you.
phone number. But yes, set it up and we'll put you in. So yes.
That's really quite a thing. Thank you for offering that. Wow.
So I was just going to ask, so Anna, you do individual sessions as well, or is everything siphoned through the university?
Yes. So Circle Insights is my private practice. And so I'm a practitioner and then I'm an instructor for the university. So all the teachings go with the university. But yeah, I do synergy work. I do Akashic records. I teach Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, Asui and Karuna, the Hawaiian, the compassion of Kuan Yin. So I do various things. I do psychic surgery. I do entity extractions. I marry people. So I even do. So yes, and if you go to Circle Insights, there'll be a whole list of what I do and work with. So I do my client base. Absolutely.
Great.
And love
Thank
to
you so
work
much.
one-on-one with people too. So,
Let's finish the drawing since we promised. She has 2 books and has 2 books out. One for children. That's the Eyes of the Creator, I believe was, no, In the Mind of the Creator. And then A Journey to the Sacred Heart, which is your journey, right?
the journey.
So I don't know if you have your druthers, which one, if you'd like to choose one or the other one. I'm going to get them both myself. I'm just going to go online and buy them both. But Jim, would you like Journey or would you like In the Mind of the Creator?
I like her story. So the journey, maybe.
Perfect. Okay. Yes.
Phoebe, you get the other one. I think that's going to be the fun one.
Kitty's book?
So BB, it's a children's book for adults. It's actually about the awakening. And so what's interesting is if we have it also, if you go to the website, you can find it. And we did a whole YouTube video. So we wanted to give it out free because it's for people to help. But then also you can buy the hard copy. So you'll have the hard copy of that. And then I'm glad you so enjoy. And then the journey into the Sacred Heart is it starts with the journey of awakening and the crash of going down the rabbit hole. So that's an interesting book. I think you'll enjoy it, Jim. There's a lot of good stories there.
Yeah.
This was really interesting. I really like the story about the 7-Eleven and the coffee and how you're just own awareness. You can change your frequency, like you did.
Oh, yes. It's just a shift of consciousness. And yeah, you know this because you can do it too. So
Yeah, you can do
but
it
it's so much fun.
too. We've done that going to San
Oh,
Antonio.
yes.
Actually, Zedra. Zedra and I were just doing energy and just making a path. And it was like bumper to bumper. And they just moved out of our way. It was all the way to San Antonio. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing we can't do.
Play is what we said. Have fun, play with the energies around you.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we're here for. We forget, we get so serious.
We do.
And our guides, and they're not serious. They're really enjoying life.
Not.
We're like, no, we have to have this Kleenex. It's really important. It's really important. So yeah, just enjoy.
Thank you all for thank you, Anna and Jamie and Tanya for coming and sharing all of this. And thank you for following your hearts and your guidance tonight and being here. Just like Bibi said, there's a reason you're on the call, even though we're small. There was a reason. Everyone, this is what fills me with so much joy. This and in my practice, so it's wonderful. And you might want to start with Reiki if you want to be a healer. That's what I did. Most people do. Just a thought.
Yes.
Excellent instructor.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So much fun.
As soon as I may not get this video out right away, but I will do it as soon as possible. And like Tony was saying, you can find all this stuff online. Okay.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so
so
much.
much.
And all of you, thank you very much. Namaste.
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 Bye.